Did you know that California has more national parks than any other US state? Or that there's a tiny island nation that's literally disappearing into the sea? Our planet is hiding secrets that sound like pure science fiction, but they are 100% real. We're diving into 50 mind-blowing geography facts that will completely change how you see the world. Hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you'll never look at a map the same way again. At number 1, Mono Lake, located in eastern California, is the oldest lake in North America, estimated to be over 760,000 years old. This surreal, salt-rich environment is famous for its bizarre tufa tower formations and is home to unique salt-loving microbes and tiny brine shrimp that thrive in water nearly 3 times saltier than the ocean. At number 2, at Lake Berryessa, a giant 72-foot wide spillway known as the Glory Hole acts like a massive bathtub drain. When the lake is full, it sucks water down a 200-foot funnel at a rate of over 360,000 gallons per second. Number 3. Only 2 sovereign nations in the world are classified as double landlocked, meaning one must cross at least 2 countries to reach the nearest ocean. These 2 countries are Uzbekistan and Liechtenstein. Uzbekistan, located in Central Asia, is surrounded by 5 landlocked neighbors: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Afghanistan. Since these neighboring countries are themselves entirely landlocked, reaching an ocean from Uzbekistan requires crossing at least 2 borders. Liechtenstein, situated in Western Europe between Austria and Switzerland, represents Europe's only double landlocked country, sandwiched between 2 landlocked neighbors and completely cut off from direct sea access. Number 4. The Great Barrier Reef is more accurately described as the world's largest living structure rather than organism. It's a colossal ecosystem built by billions of coral polyps that secrete calcium carbonate skeletons. Over thousands of years, these accumulated skeletons formed today's massive structure. While it's the largest structure built by living organisms, the title of largest single organism belongs to other entities like the Pando aspen colony. At number 5, North Korea and Finland are both bordered by the same country, Russia. Russia shares a 17-kilometer land border with North Korea along the Tumen River and maintains an extensive 1,340-kilometer eastern border with Finland, making both countries Russia's neighbors despite being worlds apart in distance and culture. In North Korea's case, this border is short and remote, representing the only land boundary the country has aside from China and South Korea. Finland's border with Russia, by contrast, crosses vast taiga forests and represents the longest border Russia shares with any of its European neighbors. Number 6. The line of 0 degrees longitude known as the Prime Meridian runs directly through Greenwich, England, marking the reference point from which all east-west positioning on Earth is measured. Established at the Royal Observatory Greenwich by Sir George Airy in 1851, it became the world standard at the International Meridian Conference, held in Washington, D.C. in 1884. This historic line is marked by a metal strip in the observatory courtyard, and at night a laser beam shoots northward across the London sky, making the meridian visible from a distance. Number 7. Australia has over 10,000 beaches along its 50,000-kilometer coastline. This abundance means visiting a new beach daily would take over 29 years. Beach culture is deeply embedded in Australian identity, with over 85% of the population living within 50 kilometers of the coast. The diversity ranges from world-famous surf beaches like Bondi to pristine white silica sands of Whitehaven Beach that squeak underfoot. At number 8, Tokyo, the capital of Japan, is the most populous metropolitan area in the world, a sprawling urban agglomeration that is a testament to modern urban planning and human density. The Greater Tokyo area is home to an astonishing 37 to 38 million people, a population larger than that of entire countries like Canada or Australia. This immense concentration of people is supported by one of the most extensive and efficient public transportation systems in the world, including the famous Tokyo Metro and JR lines that move millions of passengers daily with remarkable precision. Despite its immense size and population density, Tokyo is renowned for its safety, cleanliness, and exceptionally high quality of life. The city is a fascinating study in contrasts, seamlessly blending the traditional and the ultramodern, where ancient Shinto temples and Buddhist shrines stand in the shadow of futuristic skyscrapers and neon-lit districts. At number 9, The comparison between the population of California and Canada offers a striking illustration of the difference between land area and population density. While Canada is the second largest country in the world by area, its population of approximately 40 million people is only slightly larger than that of the single U.S. state of California, which has over 39 million residents. This means that a state that is 23 times smaller than Canada has almost the same number of people living within its borders. This disparity is due to the vastly different patterns of settlement and geography between the two regions. Canada has one of the lowest population densities in the world, with much of its territory being sparsely inhabited due to its harsh northern climate, vast wilderness areas, and challenging terrain. Most Canadians live within 100 miles of the U.S. border, while California's favorable Mediterranean climate, diverse economy, and coastal location have supported dense population centers from San Diego to San Francisco. Number 10. Finland holds the distinction of being the most forested country in Europe, with approximately 26.2 million hectares of forest land. Roughly 86% of Finland's total area is classified as forestry land, more forest coverage than any other European nation. In practical terms, Finnish forests cover approximately 224,000 square kilometers out of the country's total 338,000 square kilometers, an area that dwarfs the entire land area of countries like Romania or Ecuador. At number 11, Kaliningrad represents a unique geographical anomaly as a Russian exclave, a territory completely detached from mainland Russia. This region is nestled between Poland and Lithuania on the Baltic Sea, covering approximately 15,125 square kilometers, roughly one-fifth the size of Lithuania, and housing around 1 million people. This historic territory once formed part of German East Prussia, with its capital formerly known as Königsberg. After being ceded to the USSR in 1945, it was renamed Kaliningrad in honor of Mikhail Kalinin, a prominent Soviet politician. Number 12. Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia is the world's largest salt flat, covering over 10,000 square kilometers. Formed from prehistoric lake remnants, the salt crust is exceptionally flat, with less than 1 meter elevation variation. During rainy season, thin water layers transform it into the world's largest natural mirror, creating perfect sky reflections. Beyond its beauty, it holds one of the world's largest lithium reserves. Number 13. Chile holds the record as the longest country in the world from north to south, stretching over 4,300 kilometers, a distance greater than the span from New York City to Miami. Despite its immense length, Chile maintains an average width of just 177 kilometers, rarely exceeding 350 kilometers, making it one of the world's most uniquely shaped countries. This unusual geography provides Chile with extraordinary climatic and ecological diversity, ranging from the hyper-arid Atacama Desert in the north to the glacial fjords and forests of Patagonia in the south. At number 14, in Salem, New Hampshire stands America's Stonehenge, a 30-acre complex of stone structures and artificial chambers with astronomical alignments. Carbon dating suggests some structures could be over 4,000 years old, potentially making it one of the oldest man-made sites in North America. The site features a massive sacrificial table and complex chambers that align perfectly with solstices and equinoxes, though some archaeologists dispute its ancient origins. Number 15. Monowai, Nebraska is the U.S.'s smallest incorporated town with just one resident. Elsie Eiler, a woman in her 80s. She serves as mayor, clerk, treasurer, librarian, and operates the only business, Monowai Tavern. This reflects demographic decline in many Great Plains rural communities. As sole resident, Elsie fulfills all municipal duties, including producing road plans for state funding and granting herself liquor licenses. Number 16. Nepal is home to 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains, including Mount Everest. Among the top 10 highest peaks globally, only K2 and Nanga Parbat lie entirely outside Nepal's borders. The other 8 peaks, including Everest, Kangchenjunga, Lhotse, Makalu, Cho Oyu, Dhaulagiri, Manaslu, and Annapurna, either fall entirely or partially within Nepal's territory. These giants dominate the Nepalese Himalayas, forming a majestic range that appears frozen at the edge of the sky. Sculpted by tectonic collisions between the Indo-Australian and Eurasian plates, these mountains define Nepal's rugged character and attract adventurers from around the world. Number 17. Greenland is geography's most famous misnomer, as over 80% is covered by permanent ice sheet. The name originated from Norse explorer Eric the Red in the 10th century. After being exiled from Iceland, he explored the new land and deliberately chose an appealing name to attract settlers, reasoning that people would be more attracted to go there if it had a good name. The marketing ploy worked, establishing the first European settlements, though the name belies the icy interior. At number 18, the Pan American Highway holds the record as the world's longest road, stretching nearly 30,000 kilometers from Alaska to Argentina. This extensive route connects multiple countries, including the United States, Canada, Mexico, various Central American nations, and then continues into Colombia, Peru, Chile, and Argentina. However, there is one major interruption: the Darien Gap, a dense rainforest region between Panama and Colombia, where road construction has never been completed due to extreme terrain and indigenous opposition. Because of this break, travelers must either ship their vehicles around the gap or fly across it. Despite this interruption, the Guinness World Record still recognizes the Pan American Highway as the world's longest motorable road network. Number 19. The vast Tibetan Plateau, often called the Roof of the World, maintains an average elevation soaring above 4,500 meters. Spanning roughly 2.5 million square kilometers, approximately 4 times the size of France, it stands as the highest and largest plateau on the planet. This elevated landmass was formed by the collision of the Indo-Australian and Eurasian tectonic plates, which thrust it skyward over millions of years. Despite its harsh climate, where winter temperatures in places like Changtang can plummet below minus 40 degrees Celsius, the plateau's glaciers feed most of Asia's mighty rivers, including the Yangtze, Yellow, Mekong, Brahmaputra, and Indus, earning it the nickname the Water Tower of Asia. At number 20, while Iceland and New Zealand are famous for their geysers, the United States actually contains over 60% of all the world's geysers. Yellowstone National Park alone has about 500 active geysers, more than the rest of the world combined. These natural hot water fountains require a rare combination of heat, water, and geological plumbing. Steamboat Geyser in Yellowstone is the world's tallest active geyser, capable of shooting water over 300 feet into the air. At number 21, despite spanning 5 geographical time zones, China operates on a single time zone, Beijing time, UTC +8. This policy, established in 1949 to promote national unity, has significant practical consequences. In Western regions like Xinjiang, official time is completely out of sync with the solar cycle. The sun may not rise until 10 a.m. in winter, leading to informal use of local time that's 2 hours behind Beijing time. Number 22. In a mind-bending comparison of scale, the nation of Russia has a larger surface area than the dwarf planet Pluto. Russia, the largest country in the world, spans an incredible 17.1 million square kilometers, while Pluto has a surface area of approximately 16.7 million square kilometers. This startling fact puts the immense size of Russia into a cosmic perspective that challenges our understanding of scale. The country stretches across an unprecedented 11 time zones, encompassing a vast range of environments from Arctic tundra in the north to subtropical beaches along the Black Sea coast. To put this in perspective, when it's noon in Moscow, it's already 10 p.m. in Vladivostok. This comparison highlights not only the sheer vastness of Russia, but also how our perceptions of celestial bodies can be misleading. Pluto, despite being a spherical world with its own moons and complex geology, is literally dwarfed by a single nation on our own planet. Number 23. Son Doong Cave in Vietnam holds the distinction of being the world's largest natural cave, so massive that it could accommodate a 40-story skyscraper within its chambers. The cave spans approximately 9 kilometers in length, with interior chambers soaring up to 500 meters high and 175 meters wide. Discovered in the early 1990s and officially surveyed in 2009 by a British-Vietnamese expedition team, Son Doong stunned scientists with its cathedral-scale dimensions. The cave even earned the nickname Great Wall of Vietnam, due to the massive calcite barrier that explorers must climb to access certain sections. It represents an underground world of unprecedented scale. At number 24. The Sahara Desert was once a lush green savanna during the African humid period, 11,000 to 5,000 years ago. Instead of sand dunes, much of North Africa was covered by grasslands, trees, and vast lake systems. This dramatic climatic shift was driven by changes in Earth's orbit, which intensified the African monsoon. At number 25, the tiny town of Sete Cidades on São Miguel Island in the Azores is nestled inside a massive volcanic crater, where residents live peacefully within this unique geological setting. Sete Cidades sits within a volcanic caldera approximately 7 kilometers wide, with crater walls rising roughly 300 meters above a pair of striking lakes, Lagoa Azul and Lagoa Verde, each reflecting the sky and surrounding vegetation in vivid blue and green tones. The village itself is home to fewer than 800 residents. Visitors can hike around the crater rim, paddle on the lakes, cycle or quad bike through volcanic tracks, or walk through a unique 1.2-kilometer tunnel, built in the 1930s to regulate lake levels while serving as a pedestrian pathway. At number 26, a 2015 study revealed there are an estimated 3 trillion trees on Earth, far outnumbering the 100 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. This research used satellite imagery, forest inventories, and supercomputer technologies to map global tree density. However, the study also revealed that the total number of trees has plummeted by roughly 46% since human civilization began, with the planet losing approximately 10 billion trees annually to deforestation. Number 27. The Kola Superdeep Borehole in Russia is Earth's deepest artificial point at 12,262 meters, 7.6 miles. This Soviet scientific drilling project, 1970 to 1992, aimed to penetrate as far as possible into Earth's crust. It yielded surprising discoveries including free water and microscopic fossils at great depths. The 180 degrees Celsius bottom temperature ultimately halted the project. Though now abandoned, the collected data remains invaluable for understanding Earth's structure. Number 28. Australia is wider than the Moon's diameter. The continent measures about 4,000 kilometers east to west, while the Moon's diameter is approximately 3,474 kilometers. However, the Moon's total surface area, 38 million square kilometers, is nearly 5 times Australia's area, 7.7 million square kilometers. This fact highlights how linear measurements can be misleading when comparing different types of geographical objects. Number 29. While the Amazon rainforest often comes to mind when thinking of the world's largest forest, the title of the world's largest forest biome actually belongs to the taiga, also known as the boreal forest. This vast expanse of coniferous trees forms a continuous circumboreal ring across the northern hemisphere, covering approximately 17 million square kilometers across Russia, Canada, Alaska, and Scandinavia. This represents nearly 30% of the world's total forest cover, making it significantly larger than the Amazon rainforest. The taiga is characterized by its dense forests of spruce, fir, and pine trees that are specially adapted to survive the long, harsh winters and short growing seasons of the subarctic climate. These forests play a crucial role in the global climate system as a massive carbon sink, storing enormous amounts of carbon in both their biomass and the underlying permafrost. However, the taiga faces increasing threats from climate change, including rising temperatures, changing precipitation patterns, and more frequent forest fires, which could potentially transform this vital ecosystem and release stored carbon back into the atmosphere. At number 30, Australia's Great Barrier Reef is the largest living structure on Earth, a natural wonder of such immense scale that it is clearly visible from space without any magnification. It is not a single continuous reef, but rather a sprawling complex of over 2,900 individual reefs and 900 islands, stretching for more than 2,300 kilometers along the coast of Queensland. The entire system covers an area of approximately 344,400 square kilometers, making it larger than the United Kingdom, Switzerland, and Holland combined. Number 31, Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela is home to the Catatumbo lightning, the most spectacular lightning phenomenon on Earth. This location holds the Guinness World Record for lightning strikes, with storms occurring 260 days per year. During intense periods, the sky can flash 28 times per minute for up to 9 hours, creating a continuous light show visible from 400 kilometers away. The phenomenon occurs when warm Caribbean air collides with cool Andes air, forming massive thunderclouds. The Catatumbo lightning is also the planet's largest generator of tropospheric ozone. Number 32. In the Philippines, Vulcan Point is a geological marvel, an island within a lake, on an island within a lake, on another island. This nested formation centers around the Taal volcano on Luzon Island. The structure consists of Vulcan Point, an island in Main Crater Lake, which sits on Volcano Island, which is in Taal Lake, which is on Luzon Island. This unique geography results from the volcano's complex history of eruptions and caldera collapses. The 2020 eruption temporarily caused the Main Crater Lake to disappear, but it has since returned. Number 33. With over 1,600 known hot springs, the United States has the second highest concentration in the world after Japan. The geothermal areas stretch from Alaska to Hawaii with major concentrations in western states. Hot Springs, Arkansas alone has 47 separate springs that pump out nearly 1 million gallons of 143-degree Fahrenheit water daily, which historically attracted visitors including gangsters, presidents, and baseball players seeking therapeutic treatments. Number 34. Las Vegas is the brightest spot on Earth when viewed from space. This intense artificial glow from millions of neon signs, streetlights, and illuminated buildings is easily visible to astronauts on the International Space Station. The Las Vegas Strip creates an unparalleled density of high-intensity lighting. While this spectacle showcases the city's vibrant character, it also raises concerns about energy consumption and light pollution's environmental impact. Number 35. The Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts covers approximately 200 square miles and has been the site of an unusually high number of unexplained disappearances and paranormal phenomena. Centered around the Hockomock Swamp, whose name means place where spirits dwell in Algonquian, the area has been considered mysterious by Native Americans for centuries. The swamp's unique geology creates unusual light effects, methane gas releases, and potentially hallucinogenic fungi that may contribute to its odd reputation. At number 36, in the remote coastal landscape of Alaska lies the peculiar town of Whittier, where nearly all of the town's 200-plus residents live under a single roof, inside a 14-story former military barracks named the Baggage Towers. This monolithic structure is essentially a vertical town, housing not just apartments but also essential services including a post office, a grocery store, a health clinic, a church, and the local police department. The town's school is connected by an underground tunnel, allowing children to attend classes without being exposed to the harsh Alaskan winters that can bring temperatures well below freezing and fierce winds. Whittier's isolation is compounded by its unique geography, with the only land access being a single-lane, 2.5-mile-long tunnel that is shared by both cars and trains on a timed schedule. This creates a community unlike any other in the world, where neighbors truly live just down the hall from each other. At number 37, the Tabernas Desert in Andalusia, Spain, holds the distinction of being the only true desert on mainland Europe. Covering approximately 280 square kilometers, the Tabernas Desert is uniquely classified under a hot desert climate, an extremely rare environment in continental Europe. Annual rainfall remains below 220 to 250 millimeters, while summer temperatures often soar past 40 degrees Celsius, carving dramatic badlands and ravines from the arid landscape. At number 38, Socotra Island, a Yemeni territory in the Indian Ocean situated between the Guardafui Channel and the Arabian Sea, is often described as Earth's most alien-looking and beautiful place. Isolated for millions of years, Socotra functions as a living gallery of surreal and sculptural vegetation. Umbrella-shaped dragon's blood trees, bottle-like cucumber trees, delicate desert roses, and other endemic species comprise nearly 37% of its 835 plant species, all found nowhere else in the world. Socotra possesses a cinematic, dreamlike beauty unlike anywhere else on Earth. Number 39. Antarctica has no official time zone. Instead, each research station sets its own clock according to practical operational needs. Because all longitudinal lines converge at the poles, Antarctica technically exists within all 24 global time zones simultaneously, making a unified time system impossible to implement. As a result, research stations typically follow the time zone of their home country or main supply hub. In essence, time in Antarctica is not defined by longitude or solar position, but is chosen purely for convenience and operational efficiency. At number 40. Portugal's westernmost point, Cabo da Roca, was once considered the end of the world. Perched atop 140-meter cliffs overlooking the vast Atlantic Ocean, This dramatic headland was famously described by 16th century Portuguese poet Luís de Camões as where the land ends and the sea begins. Before European sailors fully mapped the globe, Cabo de Roca was perceived as the edge of known civilization, an ominous boundary where seas supposedly led into unknown realms inhabited by mythical monsters. Today, a stone monument and cross mark this historic point, inscribed with Camões' verse. Visitors can even purchase a souvenir certificate declaring, "I've stood at the end of Europe," a nod to the centuries when this cliff felt like the last outpost of the known world. Number 42. Hudson Bay in Canada ranks among the world's largest bays, so vast that the entire island of Great Britain could fit inside it with room to spare. Hudson Bay covers roughly 1,230,000 square kilometers, making it the second largest bay by area on Earth, surpassed only by the Bay of Bengal. The bay maintains the longest shoreline of any bay in North America, with an intricate, indented coastline encompassing Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba, and Nunavut. In terms of drainage, Hudson Bay's watershed covers an enormous 3.86 million square kilometers, spanning much of Canada and parts of the United States, making it one of Earth's most significant inland seas by watershed size. Number 43. Tuvalu, a tiny Pacific atoll nation, is projected to be among the first countries at risk of disappearing due to rising sea levels. With a total land area of just 26 square kilometers and an average elevation under 2 meters, Tuvalu ranks among the lowest-lying nations on Earth. Coastal flooding is already a present reality. By 2050, approximately 50% of its capital atoll, Funafuti, could be regularly submerged at high tide, rising to 95% by 2010. In response to this existential threat, Tuvalu's government amended its constitution in 2023 to assert its permanent statehood and maritime rights regardless of land loss, ensuring its sovereignty endures even if the physical land does not. At number 44, the Democratic Republic of Congo hosts the second largest rainforest in the world. Following only the Amazon, the Congo Basin rainforest spans roughly 1.6 million square kilometers. Approximately 60% of this rainforest lies within the DRC's borders, equating to nearly 1 million square kilometers of primary forest, making the DRC second only to Brazil globally in terms of rainforest coverage. This biodiverse ecosystem is home to forest elephants, bonobos, chimpanzees, over 10,000 plant species, approximately 400 mammal species, 1,000 bird species, and 700 fish species, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. At number 45, rising at the border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, Mount Roraima is a massive flat-topped mountain that resembles something from a science fiction film. Its towering 400-meter vertical cliffs are often shrouded in mist, creating the impression of a floating island in the sky. The summit represents a completely isolated world. Having been cut off for millions of years, the mountaintop hosts unique plant species and strange rock formations found nowhere else. Mount Roraima even inspired Arthur Conan Doyle's novel, The Lost World, in which dinosaurs survived in secret atop a hidden plateau. Number 46, the Chihuahuan Desert, spreading across northern Mexico and parts of the United States, is the largest desert in North America, covering approximately 500,000 square kilometers. More than 90% of this desert lies within Mexico, spanning the states of Chihuahua, Coahuila, Durango, Zacatecas, Nuevo León, and parts of Sonora, while the remainder extends into Texas, southern New Mexico, and southeastern Arizona. With around 3,500 plant species, approximately 1,000 of which are found nowhere else on Earth, the Chihuahuan Desert hosts nearly a quarter of the world's cactus species, making it a remarkable biodiversity hotspot. Number 47. The Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis, represent one of Earth's most stunning natural phenomena. Visible in high-latitude regions such as Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Canada, and Alaska, this breathtaking spectacle occurs when charged particles from the sun collide with gases in Earth's atmosphere, creating waves of green, purple, red, and pink light that shimmer across the night sky. Beyond their beauty, the auroras serve as a visible reminder of Earth's magnetic field and how it protects our planet from harmful solar radiation. Abisko, Sweden, home to the Aurora Sky Station, is renowned for its clear skies and frequent aurora displays, making it one of the best places on Earth to witness this natural wonder. Number 48. Lake Kariba, straddling the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe, stands as the largest man-made reservoir in the world by volume. Created by damming the Zambezi River at Kariba Gorge in the late 1950s, this massive reservoir holds up to 185 cubic kilometers of water, making it larger by volume than China's Three Gorges Dam. Stretching approximately 223 kilometers in length, its construction between 1958 and 1963 triggered significant induced seismic activity, including more than 20 earthquakes of magnitude 5.0 or greater, as the immense water pressure stressed the region's geology. Today, Lake Kariba remains a critical hydroelectric hub and stands as a symbol of human ambition reshaping nature, unmatched in scale among artificial lakes. At number 49, high in California's White Mountains grows Methuselah, a bristlecone pine believed to be more than 4,850 years old, making it possibly the oldest living tree on Earth. It was already ancient before the pyramids in Egypt were built. And finally, at number 50, Nepal is the only country with a non-rectangular flag. Its unique design combines two stacked, triangular pennants representing the Himalayan mountains, and Nepal's two major religions, Hinduism and Buddhism. The crimson red represents the rhododendron national flower and bravery, while the blue border signifies peace. The pennants contain symbols of a white moon and sun, representing the nation's permanence and longevity.